Hi. Today we're going to go ahead and make the foxing for this. Now, as a librarian, the word foxing in books would really scare me. And I'm not a professional box maker, so I'm not sure if this is even the correct word, but I have seen it. The foxing is what we put inside of one part of the box so that when we put the lid on, it doesn't fall off, because we have our bottom and our top made for our other box, but if you just lay it on there and you move it, it's going to slip and slide. So this foxing acts as a lip to keep the lid on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create that today and get it glued in here, and then we'll follow on later with our next video on how to decorate this. And so what we first of all need to do is we need to find the depth to make sure that we have it right. And mine is 1 1/8. And then my top is also 1 1/8. Now, we could make it 2 1/4 deep, but that could be just a little, some of these places, like in the corner where you have two pieces of paper overlapping, it might make it just a little bit too big. So we are going to make it 2 1/8 deep. And then we also know that we cut the length of this at 9 1/4. And I am actually going to cut this just a little bit shorter at 9 1/8 for my long side. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to mark those first with my OmniGrid ruler. And it's not there. Where is, oh, there's my ruler. And I also have my guillotine. So I want to go ahead and make this 2, what do we say, 2 1/8. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and, boy, this needs cleaned off, doesn't it, girls? That's okay. There we go. So I'm going to mark this as close to 2 1/8 as I can get it. There we go. Let's move that up just a little bit. Okay, so there's 2 1/8. And I'm going to take the other factory cut edge and I'm going to mark another 2 1/8. Wow. Okay, there we go. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark these at 9 1/8. And there we go. Okay, there's one, and there's the other. So first I'm going to cut this one, and then I will cut this shorter one. And you're welcome to use your cut and scoreboard, or not your cut and scoreboard, your self-healing mat. I have that under my nice mat. Or you can use a guillotine. I don't recommend scissors because it's really hard on the hands, and you won't get it as straight. So let's go ahead and cut one of these. And then I'm going to cut the short end off. Be very careful with these. They're very sharp, the guillotines. The one thing I have discovered that I don't like about the guillotine is that this blade cannot be resharpened. And so when mine gets to the point it's no longer working, I'm going to replace it with something else, and I'm not sure yet. That's something I'm still researching. I know a lot of people like the Fiskars, but we'll just have to kind of see. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to cut 2 more of those at 2 1/8. Well, that was easy. And I don't know that this is going to be 2 1/8. No, it's too short. So this one I'm going to put an X on because I know that's not the right one. So before I start cutting this for the short side, I'm going to see how tight this is. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so I want to go ahead and measure this, and I want it to be, so I am going to make this 5 1/4, this one, the smaller one. So I will measure that at 5 1/4. I don't know if that's glaring. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. And then I want to flip it to the factory edge again and mark 5 1/4 from there. So that's a real small piece that's going to come out of the middle, which is okay. So let's get our guillotine back out, and I'm going to cut off the edge that has the X on it and put that away. Because I might be able to use that for some other project. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut these at the 5 1/4. Okay, I put my guillotine away. So what I basically want to do then again is I'm going to set up these, and I'm going to put this in. And see, that's just a little bit too big. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get my guillotine out, and I'm just going to take a very, very, very thin piece off. Not much. And I don't even know if that's going to do it. No. Oh, there we go. Okay. So then that'll go there, that'll go there, that'll go there. Let's try this piece. And again, I'm going to have to take off just a smidge. That's still just a little bit too big. So I don't want to take off too much. And I also want to make sure that it's going to fit in my lid. Okay, let's go ahead and put this aside. So now that we have those cut, the big thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and attach these to each other. So I'm hoping that you have some of these, because what we'll do is we will attach them at the ends, just like when we made the box. So I'm going to go ahead and measure from one end to the other. I will cut it. And I'll make another. And cut it and keep those separate from those ones. And And I think I only need about 2 more pieces, so I'm going to get a shorter one, use up my scraps. That's always a good thing. And I'm going to cut one more. I'm not quite sure. I haven't done the math ahead of time, so I apologize for that. But, okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go ahead and do my not perfect triangle on all of these. And you know that our not perfect triangle doesn't cut into the corner. Our perfect triangle, we would cut into that little corner. But we want to have a flat edge on these. And if you make a perfect triangle, it's not going to hurt anything. This is a personal preference, so you are welcome to go ahead and make however you want your corners to be. I do it for a reason, so that when I pick something up, I know where it goes. Especially if I cut everything ahead of time, I know certain ones go on the outside and certain ones go on the inside, and I know that some of them aren't going to take up as much space as others. So there's a method to my madness, so you kind of have to figure out your own madness. Okay, so first of all, let's take one of our big ones, and we want to attach it to one of the smaller ones. So I am going to go ahead and get my glue, and I am going to put it on the inside of just one edge. And I will try and get this pretty square, not only to the top, but to this side. And then I will burnish that down very nicely. Okay. So then I'm going to put one on the other side of the small one. And I'll burnish it down again. So you can put one on each end of each of these, and that's basically what I'm going to do. Or you can start attaching them and then just attaching the edges as we go. But I'm going to go ahead and attach these to all of my pieces, and just on one side. That's all you need on each and every one of these. And see, I'm going to have too many, which is okay. I'd rather have too many than not enough. I can always use them for something else. Okay, these are all burnished down. So what we want to do is we want to have a big one, a small one, a big one, a small one. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to put my glue on this. And if you remember quickly, we want the small one to go on the outside. So where the dip is, where the edge of this is, I want the edge of this long one to lay on top of this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I will bring this around and I'll burnish it down. So basically what you're doing is you're making a space, just like we did when we made the box. There is that probably about 1/8 of an inch between that. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to kind of keep my glue away from my corner, from my edge. I will put that there. And I'm going to burnish. Okay, so I am just going to make sure that I have a short one and a long one because it has to be long, short, long, short. So let's go ahead and put our glue on this last little piece that we're going to connect. I want to make sure that these are on the outside of all of them. You are welcome to use your spacer if you like. And burnish it. So the very last piece that we want to do is we want to attach these. But before we do that, I am going to go ahead and put some glue in these spaces, at least on these two, this two where the small are going to be. And I want to make sure that those are on the outside. And then I'm going to put glue on this piece of paper and in this corner. And then I'm going to go ahead and this has to be on the outside, this has to be on the outside, and there we go, attach it. Now I'm going to lay this over to burnish. So basically what we have is this hopefully should fit in here. There we go. Now it does fit, and I do want to glue this, so I'm going to go ahead and take out a part of it. Actually, I'm going to take the whole thing out, and I'm going to glue in here. And actually, I'm going to use this one. It comes out faster. Maybe. There we go. Now you're going to have to work a little bit quickly to get this in. So there we go. And you want to make sure and glue it into the bottom piece, not your lid. So then I'm going to go ahead and burnish. I'm going to push down really well with my bone folder because I'm pushing against chipboard to chipboard. I don't have paper, but it's chipboard. And there you go. Now hopefully our lid is going to fit nicely on, oh yeah, look at that, there it goes. And it shuts clear to the bottom. So I'm going to take that off so that this can dry nicely. And we have our flashing done. Yay! So in our next video, I'm going to go ahead and help you with your decorating, measuring all of this so that we get it just nicely. This I'm going to leave to you because your paper might be different than mine, but I can help you with the measurements and things, how you measure, how you can decide how you're going to decorate this. Now, the other thing that I will show you if you're interested is if you don't like these cut edges, you can finish them. You can put a piece of the paper on them. And I'm not going to do that because I'm pretty happy with my edges. They're going to be decorated too, some of these papers. But what you would want to do is you would want to take, and we've done this in other videos, you would want to take one of these and start it not quite at the corner, not in the middle. You just want to make sure that you have the corners free. Take it and measure it and then fold it. And then I will take it to the next corner. It's almost like when we're cutting these connecting things. So then after you've done that, you will cut on the inside fold. You will cut out little triangles. just like that. And then you will glue the non-triangle side. This is my triangle side. It's the flappy one. You'll glue this and lay it in at the same time, trying to make sure that your edges all, your corners all meet. And then once you have the outside glued down, then you can pull these triangle ones up and glue them down. And then once you have one in, you go ahead and take your second one, match it up to where you've just ended, and do the same thing until you finished around the box. Now, I'm not going to do that. I really like this box just the way it is. It's perfect for what I want to do. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I will see you next time when we will go ahead and do the measurements for how to decorate this. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.